Welcome to Shawnee Union. This week we're going to talk about rangefinders at different price points. I think a lot of people think rangefinders are extremely expensive, and Leicas are, so Leica start between $500 and $1,000. But today we'll be looking at cameras under that range, so between $20 to $30 to $500. What are the best cameras that I've handled that range, and what would I recommend in terms of rangefinders? So let's start off. What is a rangefinder? A rangefinder is different than a SLR in that an SLR has a mirror mechanism that slaps up and down like that. A rangefinder has cams and a set of mirrors that allow it to be a lot smaller and lighter than an SLR. It doesn't have as much mechanics. All the cameras today I'll be looking at are fully manual. I really don't like cameras that are battery dependent because once the electronics go bad, you can't use the camera. If you have a fully manual camera and the electronics go bad, you can still use the camera for a long period of time if you have a light meter, or you can meter by the Sunny f16 rule. The cheapest rangefinder that I recommend is the Konica Auto S2. It is between $20 and $50. I had one for a short period of time. I picked it up at a thrift store for $10, but an extremely sharp lens. The one issue I had with the camera was it was pretty damn heavy, so after using it a couple of times I didn't like the weight of the camera. But if you're looking for a dirt cheap camera between $20 and $50, that's the way to go. If you want to spend a little bit more money, I would recommend the Olympus 35 RC. It's in the Olympus range of rangefinders. They had the RC, DC, RD, and then SP. SP was the top of the line there, but the RC, the bottom of the line, was really good. I had it for a short period of time. I took a lot of projects with it, and the pictures came out great. So a very sharp and contrasty lens. It's actually pretty small too, so it's pretty pocketable, and it's a great camera. That one goes between $40 and $70. Moving up slightly more in price is this guy right here, the Canon QL17 G3. So when you're going up in price, you're probably going lower in aperture. This one has a 40mm f1.7 lens, so it's pretty similar to the Olympus 35 SP, which is the top of the Olympus rangefinder series too. These cameras are built pretty similarly. They're not the greatest build quality, but they're pretty robust, and they're going to be pretty durable. It probably won't survive a big drop though, so be mindful of that. But these cameras have lower apertures, so they're more versatile. If you can survive with the 2.8, go with the RC, but if you do want that lower aperture, the 1.7, the Canon G3 QL17 is very popular and goes between about $50 and $120 and up. So now we'll jump to the $200 to $500 range. My favorite camera in this range is the Canon P. I've had this. I bought this in Japan in a basement of a camera store, and then I purchased the lens later, the 50mm f1.8. And I would say that for the price, you can get this one from about $200 to $300. It's an amazing camera, very sharp. The lens is pretty comparable to the Summicron 50mm. So on the other hand, I have a Leica M4 II with the 50mm Summicron, and this gets about 85% of the way there. In terms of the differences between this and the Leica, this one's machined a little bit less well, it's a little bit heavier, and it just doesn't have that extra polish that the Leica has, but this is pretty darn close and my favorite option between $200 and $500. It's a great camera with an amazing lens, and you can take some amazing pictures with this, and if you're looking to save a little bit of money, this is a great way to go for a really good rangefinder. So what did I leave off my list? There's Olympus XA, which is a pretty good rangefinder as well, but it's electronic, so I'm shying away from that. There's also Russian rangefinders. Russian rangefinders are pretty hit or miss, and I would definitely get the camera in person before you buy one. Buying one online is a pretty big risk because the quality differences in Russian rangefinders really depends on when it was made and the era it was produced in. It can be pretty different, so be very careful with Russian rangefinders. There's also the Kodak Retina series of rangefinders. Those are really great sharp lenses, but they just have a lot of repair issues that I've seen. I've actually handled a lot of them, and all of them have had issues, so I really can't recommend them there. But and they're pretty hard to repair as well, so that's why I can't recommend those ones. Are there any rangefinders that you guys really enjoy that I think are good bargains that I left off my list? Again, remember, rangefinder is less than $500. And hope you guys enjoyed that video. I will be back again next week. Thank you guys. See ya. That was like 2 full takes.